Not afford to send their children to early childhood education.
Speaker.
Ian McKelvey.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. It gives me great pleasure to take the opportunity to speak in the general debate today, to comment on the fantastic progress this government's making with things that really matter to New Zealand, and making great progress with the building of an economic platform that will set this country on the way to a brighter future. I would remind the member that I'm talking, not him. Thank you, Mr Speaker. I wanted to just comment on the comments we've heard this afternoon about education from the Labor Party, who clearly have forgotten that there was only 4 years since they had an opportunity to sort our education policy out. They did absolutely nothing about it, and the reason we've had to increase the expenditure in education in the last 4 years is because of the neglect that suffered in the previous 9. And I want to also, Mr Speaker, while I'm on the topic of education, just make a couple of comments on some stuff that Mr Hipkins talked about with respect to education, and wonder seriously whether he ever visits a school, because frankly I don't think he does. In my electorate, Mr Speaker, we also have, interestingly, decile 1 schools. We have all ranges of schools. In those communities, they find ways of ensuring children go to school with shoes on. They find ways of ensuring children have uniforms on, and that they are provided with food during school hours, whether their parents can achieve that or not. And I think that that's the great strength we see in our school system today. We have some amazing school teachers. They provide a wonderful service for our community. And I think the Labor Party, to have been speaking in the way they have about teachers in the last education in the last half an hour, is extraordinarily stupid. In the 8 months I've been privileged to represent the Rangitikei electorate in this government, I've seen and heard many exciting and forward-thinking people who comment on the way the New Zealand economy is moving in what can only be seen as extremely difficult times. We have a Minister of Social Development who's driving and understands the need to reform our welfare environment, to both encourage people into work and to get an education that enables them to work productively for New Zealand and their own futures. We have a welfare system that cares for our elderly, and in rural New Zealand, Mr Speaker, that is pretty important, because we have the privilege in New Zealand of being able to be born and die in our communities, and I think it's most important that we can live our life in one community. I think the other thing that happens in electorates like mine, which may well be foreign to Christchurch, is that because of the extraordinarily and testing amount of manual work that people in the Rangitikei electorate do, the retirement age suits those people, and we need to protect their ability to retire and get some years of comfortable retirement as a result of our current retirement age. We also have a Minister of Education fully occupied in increasing the skills, knowledge and achievement of our school leavers. As I have already commented, I think our education system is on the right track, and in my electorate the teachers are reasonably comfortable with the way we are moving forward. To complete the triumvirate, we have the Minister of Health driving a very strong performance in our health business in New Zealand in very challenging times. Our expectation and survival rates are increasing dramatically and adding challenges to the health sector at an unprecedented rate. These 3 sectors are like the tripod, Mr Speaker. They keep our economy based, and they give us a base from which to leverage from. Having set that platform, I wanted to turn to the productive sector, and this is of course what the Rangitikei does best. Grow trees, we grow sheep, we grow cattle, we grow milk, we produce milk, we grow root vegetables, and we service agriculture the world over. We service agriculture not only through our science and development that take place at Massey University, but also through some innovative businesses that are growing the New Zealand economy. I want to just talk very briefly about 3 issues that have an impact on New Zealand's economy, and particularly on the Rangitikei electorate, which relies heavily on tourism and agriculture for its living. I must remind you that the member of Parliament for Palmerston North sits on the other side of the House.
Order.
Mr Speaker, I want to talk very briefly about the ETS and capital gains tax and the effect they would have on an electorate like mine and its potential to produce jobs and to fix the environment in the current system we live in. Our environment is particularly precious to both tourism and agriculture, And if we don't invest in the future and fix some of the challenges we have around our environment, we are going to be in serious problem in the future. Mr. Speaker, that's important to us. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Megan Woods.
Mr.